Are you worried about learning how to dance together, but you love playing with Legos?
Yeah! Well, we're going to show you how your Lego skills are going to make your dancing easier and stress-free.
For those of you who are brand new to this channel, this is Clara.
And this is Joel.
And over the past 15 years, we've made it our mission to help total beginner dancers have fun and have a very stress-free way of dancing on the dance floor.
In fact, the most common comment we get from our students is that it was way easier than they thought.
Exactly. For those of you who want to keep things easy, make sure you hit that like, the subscribe, and the notification bell down below, so whenever Joel and Clara drop a new video, you guys are the first to know.
Now let's get started.
So you must be wondering, how does Lego relate to dancing together?
Well, these days, there are two approaches to Lego. On one side, you can build a model. So something like the Millennium Falcon or something like that.
Wow.
You take all these steps and you work towards building that model. On the other hand, you can just have a whole variety of different blocks and create whatever you like.
Ooh, fun.
So there's no end goal per se, but you just have fun creating and you can do multiple things over and over again.
In other words, we want to ask you guys, do you want to present something, whether it's the Millennium Falcon or even something a little more simple like this Lego Friends amusement park ride?
From our daughter's toy box.
Yeah, exactly. Or do you want to play on the dance floor? Do you want to play with Lego blocks? It's two totally different things.
Yes, one is centered around a final product and the other is the act and the experience of it.
So many beginners think though that, oh, I don't know how to dance. It would be so much easier just to get a manual and follow along. And on the surface, it seems like that would be an easier way to go. But even for something as simple as this little toy, there's over what, 65 steps? Where is that? Oh, 62?
Yep, and you gotta follow those steps, step by step, exactly. Can't miss a step. If for some reason 2 pages are stuck together, you're gonna have trouble.
Exactly. And that trouble means that you have to get everything perfect, not just for building Legos, but also for doing your dance choreography.
And that can cause a lot of stress.
Exactly. And if you have to get this done, for instance, for a wedding dance, or if you're just out dancing with your lovely wife, and you have to do the exact same thing all the time, you're gonna have to practice so much more than you think so that you don't miss step number 43 out of 65 steps. Or the Millennium Falcon, which is like over 1,300 steps.
Yes, and you're gonna have to do it without the manual.
Oh my gosh. The manual's gonna go out of the window. And you're gonna have to do this by yourself, whether it's again at your wedding or just dancing with your wife or husband. You're gonna have to memorize and do it perfectly. Otherwise, what's gonna happen, Clara? We don't know. Yeah, and that's what's so stressful and what we want you guys to understand, that learning choreography has an end result, but it is a lot more work and a lot more stress getting there.
Now that we know what's involved in creating a model or a specific end product, we're gonna look at how does it work to play with Lego or play with your dancing.
Exactly. So what we've done is we've rated our daughter's Lego set here. And we have 5 different types of blocks here, yeah? And these 5 different types of blocks can represent our basic building blocks for partner dancing. You're like, building blocks and partner dancing? That's right. Everything is based on just a few basic actions. And of course, as they become more fancy and more modified, then of course, there are many different iterations. But at the beginning, you've got some sort of home base pattern for our pinks. We've got underarm turns for our yellows. The blues can represent passing turns. Greens can represent spins. And why don't we have the browns represent dips? Yeah? And so as you can see, there are only 5 different things in a way that we have to learn, versus if we're looking at a manual, we've got 65. Or for the Millennium Falcon, over 1,300 steps.
7,500 pieces.
I know, holy cow. Now, of course, the Millennium Falcon is awesome, but there's an awesome amount of work involved. Yeah? So let's look at these 5 different pieces. I can have now, for instance, a pink block, and I can grab, not so randomly, but just go through, and I can create, for instance, now a shape, or I kind of have fun with making something, and I'm playing, and I end up now with something like this.
Yeah, and the great thing about this is that there is no right or wrong. We're just busy playing, so we can create anything we like.
Exactly. There's no expectations for the end result, and therefore we have flexibility and less stress involved in trying to just play or dance together. Yeah. So here we've got a combination. I'll just put this aside and maybe we'll try a different combination. Maybe I'll take another pink, but instead of doing a yellow, I'll do a blue. Why don't I do another blue? Yeah.
Ooh, 2 blues in a row.
2 blues, and we'll put them like that. And then maybe we're gonna do a green, and then finally a brown. Yeah.
Always nice to have a dip at the end.
Exactly. So here, totally different shape. I had fun creating it. Let things go.
Yeah, they look a little different. There you go. You can
Exactly.
compare.
Yeah. So if we, for instance, now say, okay, well, Joel, we know what that looks like. What does that actually look like for the dance? So let's take a look at our first. We've got our home base pattern. Then we've got an underarm turn, followed by a passing turn, followed by a spin, and then we've got a dip at the end. Yeah. So there's a nice sort of little grouping, you could say, that we just put together, not because we were told to, but because we allowed it to happen. Let's take, for instance,
Part of the process, the experience of actually creating can be a lot of fun.
exactly. If we take a second one, here we've got our home base, followed by 2 passes. Then we've got a spin, and again, finishing off with a dip. Kind of different, yeah? And it's still very unique, and yet we're able to do this. Why? Because Clara and Joel, or you guys, learned how to put these Lego blocks together.
Yeah,
So
as long as you know how they connect together, then you can put them together in any way you would like.
Exactly, it's more about learning a skill, learning how pieces work together, versus memorizing and just putting them because a manual told you to do it. Or in other words, we learn how to do all these dance skills using different techniques, and therefore we're able to dance a full song and have it unique and natural versus having to memorize choreography from start to finish and trying to reproduce a dance that is taught to us.
Right, when you're following the manual to create that model, the only thing you're going to get in the end is that model. And probably you put it on your bookshelf,
The Millennium Falcon.
dust for a few years, and you're probably never going to build it again.
Because you know how much time and effort it took to build that in the first place.
And you probably lost the manual because it's been 5 years since you built it.
So yeah, trying to recreate the Millennium Falcon after so many years, you probably don't want to go and do that. And you just don't do the Millennium Falcon again. Or in other words, you don't go out and dance anymore. But again, if you have the skills of playing with Lego.
We played Lego as kids, and then we didn't touch it until our kids started playing Lego again.
Yep.
And of course, it was easy to pick up because
Exactly.
we understand how the blocks fit together.
Exactly. And so for your dancing to be efficient and effective and less stressful, learn how to dance in blocks. Learn what they mean, what an underarm turn, a passing turn, a spin, a dip will feel and look like when you're dancing together.
And that way you can use it as a lifelong skill.
Exactly.
So not just once, but 5 years later, if you haven't touched it and you still remember those skills, you can use it again.
Exactly. And the beauty about this is that you can make boats, you can make airplanes, you can make cars, you can make houses, bridges, whatever it is with all these building blocks. Or in
And
dance terms.
without a manual.
Yeah, and without a manual. And for dance terms, it could be you could be dancing with Latin music or jazz music or slow casual music, funk, disco, whatever it may be. You have those skills and they go through any type of genre of music.
So if you're looking to learn how to dance, do yourself a favor. Stay away from choreography.
That's right.
Learn how to dance together, how to connect, how those building blocks connect together, and you'll have a way easier, way stress-free time.
Exactly. Speaking of building blocks, we'd love to hear in the comments below, what kind of Lego stuff have you made without a manual? Just curious. Share with us. And for those of you who love to learn more about building blocks and how dances work, download this free checklist in the description below where we go over your skills that you need to be able to dance to a full song easily and stress-free.
If you're excited about the prospect of building things and creating your dance on the dance floor, just like you do in Lego, our Natural Dance Method program is for you.
Exactly. If you'd like to learn more about that, there's a link down in the description below, and you can talk directly to Joel and Clara about the program.
If you enjoyed this video, please press the like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos like this one.
Thanks very much again for watching, you guys. We'll see you in the next one.